rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, or until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh,
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive after, because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
To say that Jay-Z was never friends with Harvey, Harvey Weinstein, now to all of the videos of him calling Jay-Z his friend and sticking up for him. Like it's
I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
Terrence Howard has been talking for years about a side of the entertainment industry that people rarely see. It is not the glamorous side. It is about private rooms, quiet power tests, and unspoken rules that decide who becomes successful and who fades away. His warnings are not presented as wild conspiracy stories. He says they come from his real-life experiences. He explains that the industry does not only reward talent, it also looks at obedience, silence, and emotional flexibility. Recently, new attention around the you-know-what list and newly released documents has made many people think again about what Howard has been saying for years. Not because everything has been proven, but because the same themes keep appearing. Young boys enter the system with dreams and talent. Powerful adults surround them. Boundaries slowly become unclear. Years later, those same boys may seem confused, withdrawn, or emotionally broken, while the system that shaped them continues without change. This conversation is not about naming specific people or proving allegations. It is about noticing patterns. When stories from different times, industries, and voices begin to sound similar, it raises an uncomfortable question. Are these separate incidents or signs of a system that protects itself at the expense of vulnerable people? Howard often says that success in the industry is conditional. In his view, talent is only the entry fee. What truly decides how long someone lasts is compliance. He claims there is a moment when rising artists are quietly tested. These tests are not written in contracts. They happen in private spaces where power is clear and consequences are understood.
what is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong. It's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of slavery, they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take, not to go in a bad place, but this is how I see what's happening, the parallels with what's happening correlates what's happening in the business. If they, back in the times of slavery, if they had like some 12-year-old slave that was just full of himself and confident and, wasn't listening, they would tie him to a log or a barrel, and a bunch of the overseers would, to where when he walked around with the slaves now, he didn't have the confidence.
Sure.
He was broken, and it was called breaking the buck.
Wow.
And that's still taking place. And so to hear that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. Perform fellatio on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called Ho Is On. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the homosexuality taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Hold It's On, they did not care, and they went all in on it.
Howard describes this process as a modern version of dominance training. The goal is not always immediate physical harm. The goal is psychological submission. Once someone shows they can accept discomfort or humiliation in exchange for opportunity, they become easier to control. Those who resist are not always attacked in public. Instead, they are slowly removed from opportunities. Work becomes less frequent. Projects disappear. Their public image suddenly changes. He says this system is especially dangerous for young boys who become famous early. Without a strong sense of identity or guidance, they may confuse approval with safety. When powerful people praise them, that praise feels too important to question or reject.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still. I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the Chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do. And that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it. Now I can go on and do whatever else we need to do.
Howard has said that he personally walked away from certain roles and relationships because something did not feel right. Whether people believe him or not, his story reflects what many former artists quietly admit. Success often requires more than talent. It can require surrender. When boys enter the entertainment world at a young age, they are not prepared for the emotional pressure that follows. Fame forces them to grow up too fast. Decisions that most people face in their 20s are pushed onto children. According to Howard's perspective, this creates the perfect situation for control. Mentorship is usually presented as protection. A powerful adult offering guidance seems kind and helpful. But Howard suggests that mentorship can sometimes become grooming. Not always physical, often psychological. Teaching a child what is normal, what is expected, and what should never be questioned. Young boys quickly learn that discomfort can be presented as opportunity. That silence equals loyalty. That speaking out can risk everything they have built. Over time, this changes how they see themselves. Boundaries fade. Confidence turns into confusion. This may explain why many former child stars struggle later in life. Public breakdowns are often labeled as entitlement or instability. Howard challenges this idea. He believes these behaviors are symptoms, not causes. They are the result of long-term pressure and enforced silence.
That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process, I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Dee argues that the industry benefits from youth not because of innocence, but because of adaptability. Children are easier to shape, easier to isolate, and easier to convince that harmful behavior is normal. By the time they understand something is wrong, their voice has already been taken away through contracts and expectations. In recent years, discussions about power have become darker. Words like ritual, sacrifice, and initiation appear more often online. Some newly released documents contain serious allegations that go far beyond exploitation. These claims describe extreme situations and circulate widely, often without proof. It is important to remember that these are allegations, not confirmed facts. There is no verified evidence connecting specific individuals to such acts. Still, the fact that this language continues to appear raises questions. Why does it return across different times and industries? Howard does not confirm such extreme details. Instead, he talks about symbolism. He speaks about environments where morality becomes twisted, where harming innocence is seen as power, where silence is rewarded more than truth. Ritual does not always mean a formal ceremony. Sometimes it means repetition, the repeated breaking of boundaries, the repeated demand for loyalty. Over time, these patterns can feel ritualistic. The real danger is not believing every rumor. It is dismissing every claim without thought. History has shown that some disturbing truths were once called impossible. The challenge is to separate fiction from real warning signs without ignoring possible victims.
I listen to your music. He said I was trying to act like Petey Pablo, and that's crazy to me.
You did.
So I said, hey man, we all going out. What's up? You want to come out? And he was like, nah, man, I'm going through a little something right now, man. I lost my wallet, lost my credit cards and everything. So I'm just going up to my room, man. And so I was like, damn, you lost. So I reached in my pocket and pulled out 200. It was like, here. Take it. He was like, here. He was like, I was like, no, man, you just don't be walking around with nothing in your pocket. Like, here. Oh, that's and I gave him the money and I walked off. So fast forward, 13 years later, I get a phone call. And this is a couple years ago. He was like, is this Petey? I was like, yeah. He was like, first of all, I need you to see. He's like, this is Terrence Howard. I was like, damn, what's up, bro? I ain't heard from you in years. Last time, he was like, yeah, last time I seen you, yeah, something happened between us. And I need you to send me your address because I owe you some money. And I was like, nah, bro, you don't owe me no money. He was like, bro, send me your address or I'm going to hang the phone up and and you'll never hear from me again. So I'm like, okay. So I give him my phone, my address. 2 days later, I get a check for $15,000.
Dang, what a great investment.
Shit, hell yeah.
Crazy, right? Crazy. So I called him back and I was like, bro, he was like, listen, you do not realize that at that time, I didn't lose my wallet. He was like, I just said that because I was so embarrassed that I was going through what I was going through in life. And he was like, effortlessly, you just reached in your pocket and handed me money and didn't really even know me. You knew me from watching me on TV. You know, we had never had a conversation or anything. And he was like, and people that I'd known for years had denied me at that point in time in his life. And he was like, and he was really in a bad place. He was like, for me to reach in my pocket and effortlessly just do an act of kindness that way, he was like, it changed his thought about life. And I was like, man, that's really crazy. He was like, now we got that out of the way. Now I need you to help me on this empire situation.
Howard says that silence is the strongest currency in powerful systems. The industry does not always use force. It uses fear. Careers are fragile. One accusation can destroy everything. Because of this, even witnesses may choose to protect themselves. Managing reputation becomes a weapon. People who speak up are labeled unstable, difficult, or bitter. Slowly, their credibility is damaged. Meanwhile, those who stay silent are rewarded with opportunities and long careers. Howard believes this explains why many stories come out years later, when careers are already damaged or finished. Speaking early carries too much risk. Speaking later carries less risk, but still has consequences. This also confuses the public. When accusations appear long after events happened, people ask why the victim waited. Howard argues that this question ignores the fear surrounding fame. Waiting is often a survival strategy.
Now listen to me. Terrence Howard said something about once your manhood been grabbed up out of you, you need therapy. Am I right? Is that? That's what he said. Yeah. Listen, in fact, Terrence Howard, let me tell you something about Terrence Howard. Now, I'm a big fan of Terrence Howard's talent. I think he stands out talently.
I bet you he'll come on the show.
I would love him to come on the show because you know what I want to ask him? How was you able to work on the set of Empire as a heterosexual man? I know you were hated upon if you wasn't part of the Brown Hotel rag crew.
That's some funny ass.
I'm just saying, if you're not part of the disposable hotel rag mob, you're not going to fit in on the set. Let me tell you something about being on set. Craig, you've been on set for movies before, right? The makeup trailer
is full of
is the most, it's like where the gangs meet up on the Backdoria side.
And it's so small and
you got one of the greatest phrases for it. Chili doggers.
The chili doggers. Listen, man. When you on set, you go to the makeup truck. Do you know if a heterosexual male is in the makeup truck while everybody else is in there, you throw off everything. The makeup truck, when you are on set, men like to walk up to each other and but if you in there, a heterosexual male, they be like, this is how they do. They all let you know. They gotta look. He in here, yo. The guy who likes only vaginas in here. They say it with their eyes. When you walk in the makeup thing, this is how they do it. So I would like to ask Terrence Howard how he survived on the set of Empire. When if you're not with it, you are public enemy number one. You were the head of the set. Am I right? He was either number one or number two on the list. You know, when you do a TV show, what was his list? It couldn't be more than number three.
Him and then Taraji.
Right. It's either Taraji or him. Number two. You're a heterosexual male on the set of Empire. How did you pull it off? I want to know, Mr. Howard. Please come on the 5150 show. I know you have stories to tell that you really want to get off. Come tell it on a real platform where the real truth is able to come out, because we are who we say we are. Except for maybe Darlene. I think Darlene. Okay, my bad.
That was funny, though.
What they say?
Somebody said that he would say, "Don't touch me, mine." You know, he says that.
No, what he did on Hustle and Flow, his accent was brilliant.
Man.
He killed that. He killed that thing. Hey, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Right. He killed that. He's a great actor. Great actor. But the set of Empire smelled like they was cooking chitlins all day long.
As long as silence feels safer than truth, the system does not change. The price is paid by those without power, often children who never agreed to the rules forced upon them. Howard believes that when serious allegations threaten powerful spaces, distractions quickly appear. False lists, fake graphics, viral misinformation. Truth becomes difficult to recognize. Recent document releases created this exact reaction. Social media filled with names, accusations, and extreme claims. Many were quickly proven false, but confusion remained. Confusion protects the system. When everything feels unreliable, people stop paying attention. Howard suggests this mixing of truth and fiction may be intentional. When real concerns are surrounded by obvious lies, nothing is taken seriously. Real victims disappear in the noise. This also divides the public. Fans defend their favorite stars. Critics go too far. The focus shifts from accountability to conflict between groups. Meanwhile, the deeper system remains untouched.
But you know what I'm saying? Criminals do crimes around criminals. There's nobody who's going to risk their job and their pension for watching him beat a girl, watching him drug a girl, or do any of the things that they try to say that you see. I didn't see him do none of that. So when Marlon Wayne, if he say he didn't see it, he didn't see it. Maybe he left early. Maybe he wasn't around it. Maybe Puff didn't trust him enough to do some like that.
What about all the other celebrities who knew but act like they didn't know anything was going on?
Well, you got to name names and say, and you got to name names, bro. You just can't say all the other celebrities. You understand?
Well, I didn't mean literally, all the others, but I mean, I'm sure
there was probably a lot of celebrities that saw it. There's probably a lot of stuff. Look at Usher. What Usher say? I seen some things I shouldn't have been seeing at that age. What does that tell you? That he's seen some things. He was around some things when he was young that he shouldn't have been at a Diddy party. So that's going to show you that there are certain things that are happening that's going on that here it is, this kid was saying he shouldn't even seen it and been around it himself. So all the other celebrities who saw it and they stand quiet about it. Ain't that in our culture? No snitching.
I don't know about when it comes to and stuff like that. I'm not saying he was. I mean, he didn't get convicted of it. So let me say just allegedly, because that's what they're saying. So I don't know. But even just being hearing those things and then just being around him, like I couldn't really be around somebody who I heard, even if just heard like this person's doing all these wild things. Like I couldn't go to no party or be around this person. Even
well, it depends on what it depends on what your avenue is, Cam. You know what I'm saying? If you are a bodyguard and you paid the bodyguard the area, the place, and stuff like that, and that's just your job that you have, listen, are you going to care? Yeah, you're going to care to a certain extent if it involves you. People don't understand this. If you see somebody raping somebody, you understand, and you don't do anything about it, girl too. Did you know that? Did you know that's the law?
I didn't know that was the law, but
that's the law, brother. You cannot witness or not say nothing or do nothing. If a man is raping a girl and you witness her doing that, you're just as much as guilty as he is. That's the law. You understand what I'm saying? So if a lot of these people who are working for him and stuff like that, and they see something and don't say nothing, yeah, they just as guilty as he is. They just as guilty as he is. See, I was never that type of dude. Yo, listen to me. My job is to stop the from Puff. You understand? If there's some dudes about to beef with him, before he even get to him, I'm going to stop it. That's my job. You understand? If Puff is doing something that's going to cause him to get himself in trouble and me in trouble, I got to stop him. That's my job. Not only as his bodyguard, as a law enforcement officer, as somebody that's a father, as somebody that's a big brother, big uncle, and everything like that. That's my job to do that. So it is what it is, bro.
Howard says the main issue is not only who is guilty, but how the system works, how power is shared, how silence is enforced, how young talent is used and then discarded. His message continues to gain attention because it connects with stories from others in different industries and time periods. The names change, the details change, the pattern stays the same. Each generation creates new stars and new warning stories. Young boys step into fame. Older figures guide them. Years later, similar confusion, pain, and silence appear again. Howard believes this cycle continues because exposure alone is not enough. Without real structural change, public outrage fades and the industry adapts. He does not present himself as a hero. He presents himself as someone who refused certain doors. His words are not commands. They are warnings. Pay attention. Protect children. Question power. Until these warnings are taken seriously, the same stories may continue to repeat.
It's only one king. It's a king of all kings. I don't care if you the king of your house. There's only one king. King of all kings. And he gonna remind you every time. Like, Puff, bro, your ass. Wow. You freaky. Y'all freaky men. How they said in Chicago, freaky man? Freaky man. That nigga freaky man. I look at his kids and everything. It's more deeper questions that I be wanting to know. Like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother no gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy. About Quincy, right? I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
I'll be sure, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son like that? Like that seemed like grooming to me. That's his daughter's brothers. Get the fuck out of here. Huh? Plenty of daughters got brothers. Go show one man that do it. That ain't in the household with him. Like, I'm saying, like, I'm not married to your mother. If I'm married to your mother, then yeah, fuck your daddy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't there, I'm here. But I'm not married to your mother. You actually my stepson. I keep you with me. I treat you like what for? I want to know what Justin Bieber, I want to know. Justin Bieber, look at his life change. That man is terrified of Puffy. I seen the video. I'm in the streets, dog. People know, fear, dog. Me like, what happened to your number? You like, I lost it. You know, fear, man. You got to think of all the people, the white folks who've been at the parties. They scared. They don't roll in crowds with niggas and guns. You know, when they get slapped in the mouth at a party for being too high, they shut up. You get what I'm saying? You got to think of all these people Who been terrified for years? Everybody. But see, people understand. I can say this because I've been saying it while he was out. I'm one of the few people been calling this out for years. They ain't scared of who. I've been telling this nigga, where you at? I'm not scared of you. I'm not saying I'm bad or nothing, but I'm saying like, I got the right to speak. I'm not trying to kick him while he down or something. I've been looking in this motherfucking camera for the longest, telling you I don't like you. I don't like nobody around you, and I don't like what you did to me. I woke up one day, I was 40 years old, didn't have a home, didn't have nothing. I'm like, what the happened to 20 years? 20 years where I couldn't do nothing because he brought me into a lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? That right now, anything you do, you're going on the news, you're going anything. You can't just be a man. You can't stand on, you can't say you want to hustle. Can't stand on the corner. Everybody that ride by know you can't go to work. Everybody taking pictures. You can't even have a fucking day at a job. Everybody want to take pictures. Everybody want to talk about it. Your whole life, nobody want to be subjected to that. No one man want to have to endure all that failure. People on your way back down on the ladder, motherfuckers laughing and couldn't wait to see you, and motherfuckers don't want to help you because they don't want to see you back up. They got it. You done did it for them. But man, I was waiting for you to fall for so long. That's why I stay to myself right now, because it's like I've done so much for so many people, but those same people also turned their back on me. And that's why I hated Puffy. That's it. I hated Puffy because it wasn't blaming him for my situations. He went out his way and he used his team around us. All of them took millions and millions of dollars from us. It's not like they stole $100,000 from a nigga. And people don't get that. Like, that nigga took millions from us. We can never be cool. My life will be different. My life will be completely different.
Terrence Howard's claims are uncomfortable and controversial. Many people dismiss them, but discomfort does not automatically mean something is false. His perspective pushes people to look more closely at how power works behind fame. Not through obvious violence, but through manipulation, silence, and emotional control. Recent document releases and renewed public discussion did not create these concerns. They reminded people that secrecy has long been part of the system. When similar allegations appear across decades, it suggests something deeper than coincidence. This conversation is not about proving every rumor or attacking unnamed individuals. It is about understanding that young boys in powerful industries deserve protection, not pressure. Guidance, not control. Truth, not silence. Howard's warnings may never be fully proven, but completely ignoring them risks repeating the same harm. If history continues to echo the same stories, the real question may not be whether we believe them, but whether we are willing to listen before another generation pays the same price again and again. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so you never miss any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.